That's okay, we've seen. Aren't you, little guy? Give yourself your old bath.
Okay.
You done good, little girl. Yes, you did. I'm so proud of you.
So on July 21st, 2010, Sarah invited me with some friends to go to the lake, Lake Winfield Scott, and that morning she picked me up with her mom and we drove up there and met some friends and just had a day at the lake and swam and had a good time. And it wasn't until the drive home that evening that she fell asleep on my shoulder and the thought entered the mind, I think I like this girl. Not sure though.
When I got out of the car, my mom asked me, "Is there something between you guys?" And I was like, "No." But then that night I wrote in my journal and I said, "I think I really like this guy."
Mm-hmm. And from that point we began to talk more, gradually, steadily, but consistently talked and
got to know
definitely got to know each other more with photography dates in downtown Woodstock.
Yeah.
And going on lots of picnics and just exploring the back roads.
And I asked him a lot of questions. You remember that? I would just ask him, like, what's your favorite smell? And what would you do if you were stranded on an island?
Mm-hmm.
And he got really annoyed with them, I think.
No.
But I got to know him really well, so that was good.
Yep. And from there, I would say around October, we really decided that we wanted to be together, and that's...
Well, yeah. At least that's when he held my hand, so...
Yeah, figured
you had told me you'd like me before then.
Yeah. I think if Sarah were to take one thing with her all the time, and have it with her all the time, it'd probably be her camera. Camera or her journal. Mm-hmm. She's always been very consistent with wherever we go, taking pictures and documenting our times together. And also every evening she is very consistent in writing in her journal, and she's very conscientious of remembering all of the memories so we can have them for later. And she's very thoughtful in that regard. So almost every date we have and every time we've been together, there has always been some sort of picture or some sort of video or some sort of memory somewhere.
What would you take if you were going everywhere? Me. You would take me with you. One thing that really attracted me to Ethan was that he didn't feel the need to overpower me, to tell me when when I was right or when he was right, or when we were discussing something, he didn't feel the need to speak over me, and he was very patient in listening and in talking to, and he pushed me to also be patient. And he has a love for learning and wanting to pursue knowledge, and I think most of our conversations are usually quite random, but they're usually about just various tidbits of information or different videos we had seen recently, different TED Talks that we've watched, or what's going on internationally, and he just has a fascination for that, and has really broadened my horizons for learning history and for wanting to know about what's going on in the world as opposed to just living in my little bubble. So it was actually really interesting because as we were texting and talking and getting to know each other, I would ask him about his family, and he's like, well, I'm the youngest of 3, and I was like, oh, me too. And he goes, my mom's a teacher, and I was like, mine too, my parents are teachers. And he would say, I have a brother named Josh, and I was like, me too. And a sister named Sarah. Well, I don't have a sister named Sarah, but anyway, there was just so many similarities, and we kept running into those, and what, me too, and we've grown up about 10 minutes away from each other our entire lives. It took us until 2010 to meet,
Yeah.
but
In fact, we may have met before that because
that's true.
we went to the same school when I was in
Oh, that's true. I
3rd grade,
forgot about
and
that.
she was in 2nd grade. We both went to fellowship, and
And I
my
distinctly
mom,
remember giving an Ethan a high five.
yeah, my mom taught there, and her dad was the assistant principal. And you know, our lives have been kind of really close, but it took a little while to.
He was the kid that
intersect.
gave me a high five. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
None of the other 3rd graders gave me high fives.
One of our first dates, really. I guess it was.
It wasn't one
it
of our
was the
first dates. It was in December.
It was the first winter of our relationship.
That was like 5 months after we.
Okay. Well, it was just after Christmas, and we always go to a nearby field where Sarah's house is, and we'd always take this
Where he
little walk.
proposed, actually.
Yes. A nearby field, and we'd go through the woods and down through the trees and then up top. And this is just after Christmas, and
Through the trees.
and it snowed. And Sarah had this big winter suit on because, you know,
It's not a suit, a coat.
a big winter coat that bundles you up because us Southerners, we have to bundle up. And we were walking back, and Sarah had her hands in her pocket, and I looked to my left, and all of a sudden she trips and she tries to pull her hands out, but she isn't able to pull her hands out, so she just smacks the ground. And it's just one of those things you'll always remember.
You'll always remember. I try
And
hard to forget it.
We can always reference it and just always laugh whenever we need to laugh.
So I expect the wedding date to come quickly, hopefully. But also to get up early and to get ready probably with a little bit of stress, but to know that at the end of the day, we'll be married, and that's really what matters. And I look forward to walking down the aisle and making eye contact with Ethan, and knowing that we will soon be married, and that 4+ years of dating led us to that, and preparing for that. And I look forward to getting out of there around 2 or 3, not staying really
Remember
late.
that, everyone.
But I'm ready for it to be over, but at the same time, I'm ready for it to start.
I think my hope is that, of course, wedding planning, there's so much that goes into it. Nothing, you can't ever have a perfect wedding by whatever that definition is. But with that said, I hope to just, once it comes and arrives, that in addition to us just having a piece in what the wedding actually signifies, I hope the audience can just really enjoy the time as well, and just have
The guests.
the audience, the guests to just be able to participate and understand what's happening there.
And know that they are all there because we want them to be there, and because, well, most of them. I mean, all of them. And because they are meaningful to our lives in some shape, fashion, or form.
And there'll be lots of dancing.
Okay, Okay.
One of the most attractive things to me about Sarah is, for one, her patience and her encouraging nature. She's always been one of the most considerate person that I've met, and her thoughtfulness and attention to just finding, for everyone, not just me, but especially for me, just she's able to find and discover what I love the most and what motivates me, and she really challenges me to be a better man, and I love that about Sarah.
I'm really thankful, and one thing that has meant a lot to me over these last 4 years is how steadfast he's been to me, and he's been in his friendship and his pursuing of me. He's just through whatever season, whether it be him at college and me at home, or us both at college or in China, or him at military training or me at home, or whatever the season may be that God's put us in, that he has enabled Ethan to be steadfast and faithful to me and loving of me, and constantly reminding me that I'm the one for him, and that he wants to pursue me, and he never gives up. And when we do get into disagreements, he's always, more often than I'd like to admit, the one to admit defeat, or to come to me with a humbleness, with humility, and express his love for me, and that he values me over disagreement, and he values our relationship, and that we work through things together. He's really good about encouraging me as well, encouraging me to encourage him. I love him. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.